I want my biological daughter to be a part of my wedding, but my fiancé does not want her to be involved at all. I, 45M, have a daughter named Polly from a previous relationship. I divorced my ex-wife on good terms, and we share 50-50 custody of Polly, who is now 11. After the divorce, I met my now fiancée, Sharon, 39F. I thought Sharon and my daughter got along very well, and after 5 years in my relationship with Sharon, I made the decision to propose to her. Sharon was super excited and wanted to start planning right away. She started looking at nice venues and started asking her friends to be her bridesmaids. Then she told me she wanted her niece to be a flower girl. I had no problem with, but I also expressed my desire for Polly to be a flower girl. Sharon looked at me funny and then said that she didn't think that Polly would fit the part. I got angry and told Sharon that my daughter would be in our wedding. Sharon started to become upset and said that the girls in the wedding were up to her and Polly wouldn't be one of them. I told Sharon that if Polly wasn't in the wedding, then there might not be a wedding. I stormed out and took Polly to get ice cream. Polly knows we are getting married and told me she thinks she will look pretty in whatever dress Sharon decides she should wear. This broke my heart and I decided to text Sharon. I told her I would be staying at a friend's place to think this over. My mother-in-law texted me saying I am overreacting and that my daughter doesn't have to be in my wedding, and I was a-hole for saying that I would cancel the wedding. So, did I take it too far saying I will cancel? Am I overreacting? Update 1. Hey everyone. Thank everyone for all the kind words and suggestions. There is nothing wrong with my daughter physically or mentally. She is just a normal young girl. I did ask my fiancé if Polly could be a groomsman instead but was immediately shot down. Sharon is the same race as my daughter, and this is her first marriage. Anyways, I came home to talk to Sharon today. When I pulled in our driveway, my mother-in-law was sitting there in her car. I got out and went inside, trying to avoid talking to my mother-in-law. Sharon was sitting at the kitchen table, and I joined her. She sat in silence, so I asked the first question, why does Polly not fit the part, and why don't you want her in the wedding at all? Her answer full-on shocked me. She quietly said, I was hoping that after the wedding you could become a holiday visit-only dad. I didn't want her in the wedding so she wouldn't be in the photos around the house, since she wasn't going to be around much. I kept my cool, calmly took her hand, and pulled my engagement ring off. Her eyes started to tear up. She said we shouldn't end the marriage over this and that she can change. I told her the damage was already done. Since the house is in my name, and I paid for it, I told her I wanted her things moved out by next week and that she could come get them when my daughter wasn't home. She stormed out and my mother-in-law came knocking on the door, saying I was being unreasonable. I couldn't imagine only seeing my daughter 3 or 4 times a year. The fact that Sharon wanted me to give up part of my custody blew me away. I'm sitting on my couch, just in shock. Our honeymoon was supposed to be in Hawaii. It looks like Polly, and I will be going instead. Update 2. Hello everyone. Thank you for all the kind comments and suggestions for Hawaii a few days ago, and Polly is already having a ton of fun. As for my ex-fiancée, she has tried to reach out to me, wanting to work everything out, saying she only did it because her mom wanted pure grandchildren. I still do not care. If she really loved my daughter and I, she wouldn't have acted on her mother's wishes. Sharon has called my workplace to try and get in touch with me. She has even shown up a few times to try and talk to me, and I've told my supervisor to just ask her to leave. She has gone as far as messaging my ex-wife a few times, wanting to know why her calls won't go through to me. When she caught wind that we were in Hawaii, she was upset. I'm still close with her brother, and he told me that she and her mom were going to try and get plane tickets. If that's the case, I will likely file a restraining order. Polly asked what happened to Sharon, and I told her that we came as a package deal and Sharon only wanted me and I couldn't leave her. Polly understood, but I think she was a little heartbroken. Update 3. I realized I forgot to do an update. Polly and I had an epic time in Hawaii and she's already talking about wanting to go back. Turns out when my ex-fiancée and her mom tried to buy tickets, the airlines were sold out. Instead, they decided to leave piles of letters at my door. There were maybe 50 envelopes full of pages about how I needed to take Sharon back. I honestly didn't read through them all and discarded most of them. So far, I've coincidentally run into Sharon at grocery stores and gas stations, but paid no attention to her. She then attempted to show up at my daughter's meet the teacher night, but since she didn't have a kid, she wasn't allowed in. From what I have heard through her brother and dad, she already has a new boyfriend and just wants to get back at me now. As for me, I've out in a restraining order on Sharon. I did see comments asking if I was going to attempt to date again. Let's just say I took my ex-wife with me to Hawaii, and we decided to try again. All in all, I'd say I don't expect to be hearing from Sharon or her mother again. For now, my ex-wife has now moved back in with my daughter, and I thank you all so much for your support throughout this time.